We're at the Broadband World Forum where a session has just concluded on end-to-end customer experience management. I'm talking to Craig Norman, who is the Managing Director of Emotum. Craig, you're on this panel. Tell us what some of the highlights were.
Well, I think that it's becoming apparent to me from what people are saying is that you really need to look at the customer journey from day one, from when they see your advertisement about the service, through to when they activate and set it up, and then following on through to when they have their first problem, which is the real clincher.
Yeah, I mean, what are some of the common mistakes that operators make?
I think that one thing that we've noticed from our studies and from talking to people is that people are becoming more tech savvy and more aware. They still have problems, but they're becoming, there's a lot more value that they can bring to the table nowadays. So the number one biggest mistake would be treating a customer like an idiot.
And I guess what they've done in the past, I guess. So what you're saying is they're getting past first base now. They're still getting problems, but they can get rid of some of the basic areas first.
Well, the way I look at it is that it's a troubleshooting process, and there's two parties at play. So I think that operators really need to look at what value the customer can bring to the table in terms of helping them to work out what the problem is and then collaboratively fixing it if possible.
When did you sort of notice that the customer's customer or the end user was getting more, shall we say, intelligent?
When my mum set up her own Wi-Fi router. When just over the last 12 months, I think, when through the studies that we've been doing and talking to customers and talking to call center representatives who are talking to customers, there's definitely a lot more tech savvy people out there. But I guess the problem is there's also a lot more complexity and there's a lot more devices and things coming up. So it's not as if the problem's getting smaller. But the point is that I think that the customer can play a very important role in actually helping to provide a better customer experience collaboratively with the provider.
And what are some of the new things that you're looking to provide for mobile operators to help them do that?
Well, we have a software troubleshooting system called fixitnow, which basically takes the whole philosophy behind the product is it leads the customer through a few of the more common scenarios that we encounter, and these scenarios are constantly updated and fed back through talking to the CSRs and finding out what's actually happening in the industry. So we step them through that, and we create I guess a packet of data that explains what the customer has done, what the problem potentially is, but more importantly, what the problem isn't. So then they can pass that information on to the call center representative, and they can both save time and headache of sitting through long phone calls and repeating processes over and over again.
Yeah, because that's the real ultimate frustration, is it? We all dread something going wrong as much as anything else, the inconvenience, but the sheer hassle of then trying to get somebody to help fix it.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, is that as people are becoming more addicted to the internet, it's not so much the setup and activation, which you actually expect to go perfectly, and it usually does. The problem is when you have your first outage and you can't get to your Facebook and you can't get to your email or anything that you treasure so dearly, and that's when the panic sets in. So if you can manage that bad experience and make it positive, then that's going to have the biggest reflection on your brand, I think, as an operator.
So the next time I have a crisis with my operator, I'll just have to hope that you're the guys behind it.
Yeah, or call my mum.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, thanks very much for talking to us.
Great.